I'm not going to go on this long, lengthy yapping session before this. All you need to know is Scott Jennings went full force, opened a full can of whoop ass, kept it insano on Mark Cuban, who I don't know what they have on this man, but Mark Cuban is like full blue pill Democratic Party. Maybe he's trying to win. Maybe he's the next entertainer who's trying to, or businessman getting into politics and to try to be like the Democratic version of Trump. And recently, it's making me not a fan of Mark Cuban.
At this race, and you're watching this as a huge surrogate for her. You've been out there, and what's interesting about you is you kind of take the arguments against Harris. Some of the ones we've heard from Scott, on the economy and whatnot. She has cut Trump's lead on the economy by a significant amount from where it was when it was Biden and Trump in this race. Is it enough, though? I think is going to be the major question when you look at
trust
how voters
how.
Well, she just has to reduce it on the margins. She's better for business. There's 33 million companies in this country. 99% of them are small business. 99% of those are pass-through, and 99% of the CEOs and entrepreneurs that run them make $400,000 or less. So effectively, for every company in this country, your taxes are going to be the same or lower. We just have to get that word out, and I think that's why she's closing the delta.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the reason Trump is winning and will win ultimately on the issue of the economy is the comparative. I mean, look at the polling. His job approval retrospectively is far higher than the Biden-Harris job approval today. There's one reason for that, because people feel economic anxiety today that they did not feel under Donald Trump. They didn't feel the inflation under Trump. And they don't really believe that Biden and Harris either have a handle on it at best or they've made it worse. And I think it's a change election. And honestly, Trump's best argument on the economy is you can't leave the same people in charge. If you're feeling economic anxiety, you got to go back to what you know works. And honestly, he's more popular now than he's ever been. His administration is more popular than it's ever been. And look where he came from when he left office to right now. There's one reason why he's more popular today than he's ever been, because people are comparing it to what they've got now, and they're saying, I want to go back.
Yeah, and not only is it a comparison, it's the best kind of comparison, because in 2016, yes, it was against like the Hillary and Trump, but it still was like the Democratic Party. They're the ones who say no person is bigger than the Democratic Party, right? So it feels like Trump versus the Democratic Party. He wins. We had an awesome 4 years. Next time, okay, well, Trump, you won the first time. Let's see what it's like with the Democratic side. They win, right? We're going to put win in quotations. And we've felt the past 4 experience. And now it's just like, okay, do you want to continue the 4 years, or do you want to go back to where we had it? And from 2016 to 2020, and everybody was looking around being like, yo, 2016, 2017, 2018, those were peak times. 2019, peak. Right before COVID hit. And then now we've been trying to like get back to our footing. Honest to God, it feels like from when Warzone was Warzone with Verdansk, and we were getting like Vanguard, it was just going up and up and up. And then all of a sudden, Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and we took this big step back. And we finally like been making updates and getting new gun, new metas and shit. And all of a sudden, it feels like we're starting to get back to where we were when we could have just been there from the get-go.
Yet it's a dead heat against somebody who's only been in the race 13 weeks.
Well, you act as though she just landed here on a spacecraft 13 weeks ago. She's been the vice president for an entire term.
But there's a
she was in the
between...
United States Senate. She did not show up here 13 weeks ago. She has a record as vice president, and I think what's hurting your campaign is that she also has a record when she ran for president, and she said a lot of things that have come back to haunt her.
That's a different world. I mean, I can go back 10 years.
No. You can't go back 10 years. We're talking 4. Sorry, guys. I mean, we're talking 4 years, and she ran for president, and she was the first one gone. She was FFG. She was the first fucker gone. You lost.
When Donald Trump said he wanted to tax oil companies out of existence. You can talk about Section 230. You can talk about Bitcoin. You can talk about abortion. There's a long list of things that Donald Trump has flip-flopped on.
But he was the president, and he has a record, and she was the vice president, and she has a record.
Yeah, but what kind of record? But you know that whole comparison isn't legit, because the vice president doesn't do anything. What did Mike Pence do?
Well, I disagree. I actually think she has been the most consequential vice president when you consider the responsibilities that she was given, when you consider that Joe Biden has said.
And this isn't even the right side. This is from their own mouth.
She was there every step of the way. And finally,
you know it.
she cast more tie-breaking votes than any other vice president. She cast
that's because
the votes.
The Senate, because of the nature of the Senate, had nothing to do with her.
No. Don't flip this on you, Mark. You cannot flip this.
Her being special, you know, that's just the job.
She cast the most consequential.
That is her job as VP. She is the one to make the final call and give the final vote. It literally is her job. That is her. That is her record. And her record is ass.
Economic votes of any vice president in our history.
But what we have to talk about is what her plan is for now, right? Look at healthcare.
Great question.
Her plan for healthcare. She's talked about going after the pharmacy middleman, in particular the PBMs who set the prices for medications. She's talked about adding transparency. That alone, I know from my experiences, will cut the cost of medications and then eventually healthcare for every household by 20 to 30%.
I agree with you on PBMs, by the way. One. Two, I will say when she had her town hall this week, she got asked a simple question by a voter. What's the first bill you would pass? And had absolutely no answer for it. It wasn't an economic bill. It wasn't immigration. It wasn't health care. It was, I don't really know.
But let's go back to
what kind of confidence does that give you that she's ready to lead?
Yeah, because she puts together a team. She's a team leader as opposed to Donald Trump.
We don't vote for team. We vote for presidents.
Yes, we do vote for team.
We vote for presidents.
No, we vote for, if you're smart.
Who's on the ballot?
Who's on the ballot obviously leads the way, but who's on your team makes a big difference. On one hand, you have Donald Trump, where 40 out of 44 of his staff just turned against them. I've never seen that happen to anybody in any circumstances, ever. I've never seen a company like that, ever.
Not just turned against him, called him a fascist. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, his cabinet just went...
You do vote for a team. We're voting for Trump, JD, Vivek, Elon, Tulsi, RFK. Like, Scott Jennings kind of fumbled that one a little bit because he could have easily have turned that back around and be like, you guys have Dick Cheney and all these people behind you. What are you talking about?
You don't belong in government at all. What does that say? Whereas with Kamala Harris, you don't see that. In fact, you see her putting together a good team. Well, one time with her office, she had a bad experience.
I disagree. She's had a 92% turnover.
Yeah, one time
she's had a rough ride with staff.
Yeah, but you haven't seen that in the last 4 years.
That was a year ago. That was 4 years ago. That was... Mark Cuban, you're retarded.
Well, you've seen it her entire career. It happened when she was attorney general. It's happened when she's vice president. I think she actually has a pretty rough track record of leadership when you consider the people who've washed through there.
So
now expand that out to the entire federal government.
Yeah, 90% of people in her cabinet you think will turn on her?
I'm saying that she has not had a good record of staff management in small groups. Now she's managing the whole federal government.
Small groups are harder. It has somebody who's managed. Small groups are harder because it's more personal.
But if the argument is turnover is bad, I mean, Donald Trump is the king of turnover. So that is a bad bar.
And on top of that, he's using loyalty as a mechanism to determine who he's going to hire. That's Tony Soprano.
Every president uses loyalty to their agenda to decide.
No,
I work for George W. Bush. You had to be loyal to the president's agenda. I'm sure Joe Biden did the same thing. They're politically elected. It's their prerogative to have loyal people.
It's their prerogative, but that doesn't make it the best people to solve the problems. She's already said...
Yeah, and Trump has gone back and said that he put in bad people, and now he knows how to govern. He didn't know how to govern the first time. Now he does, and he has a better group of people around him.
Do you think she's going to hire people who disagree with her?
I think I've seen it. I've seen it. She hasn't disagreed with everything I've said to her by a long shot, but she listens. She's open-minded. She's not dogmatic. That's critical. Being dogmatic is the difference between being good as a president.
I think she has displayed this week and throughout October in her interviews an extreme amount of indecisiveness. And in Kentucky, they say the only thing in the middle of the road is yellow lines and dead squirrels. And I'm afraid she's going to find herself one or the other come election day.
Speaking of what staffing would look like, if she does win, would you take a job, and what job would you want?
No, I don't want a job. CostPlusDrugs.com is changing healthcare. I can do more on the outside than the inside. I can still be an advisor.
How are you going to feed yourself if you don't take one of these jobs?
I'll find a way, Scott. I'll find a way.
Scott, if Donald Trump wins, would you take a job in his administration?
That's super cool that these guys are able to go back and forth and not agree and have a laugh with each other. That's respectable. I respect that.
I have a terrific job here at CNN.
Right? What piece that?
It is my sincerest desire to continue to be here with you on.
So
Friday
everyone's
night.
keeping their jobs. Scott Jennings.
I don't know that. He's more secure than I'm the poorest guy at the table. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Yeah, there's only 1 billion.
That's cool. That's cool that these guys are able to end that with some laughs. There's no chance Mark Cuban would hire Kamala Harris to run his companies over Donald Trump. It's a ridiculous sell coming from a business guy. What Mark Cuban failed to factor in is that the real Donald Trump has voted into office not as a politician,
this as a huge...
but as someone who had a business sense to run a country. She picked the people that he was advised to at his detriment, but that's what made him that much more honest. How was he to know? Cuban is a traitor. Snowflake been holding to the swamp. See, I get kind of conflicted with this because my initial jerk reaction is fuck Mark Cuban, but then as the end of it, like they're laughing, they're having a good time. We got to remember, and this is me speaking to myself. You got to remember that not the person of the ideas that they're spewing is not the person as a whole, right? It's just one thing, and we got to give a little grace. We got to show love. And if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, please like the video, subscribe, share with your friends. When I see stuff on the internet that I want to react to and have an opinion on, this is what we do. And we got a little breakfast club. We got people from India, from Australia, from England, from Canada, South America. We got people from all over. So please, and Poland even, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about American politics, because the more I've learned, it's reflective of a lot of other governments where it just seems like the government itself is filled with a bunch of inept people, and the people on the outside, the people who are actually funding the government, i.e. me and you, who have jobs, who are out there, you know, paying our taxes or whatever it is that you pay or where you live, that is going to the government to fund. But it seems like the idiotic group of people who don't actually know how to do it. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Spread love, not hate. See you in the next one.